I think a good way to explain it is to say that I feel like a Homo sapien living in a planet full of Neanderthals. That is a good way of explaining it. And I don't know who is also. I believe that there are other Homo sapiens, but I don't understand what they're doing. Um, it's just if you know there are a bunch of people who are very corrupt and who are only causing problems, why are you helping the people who are causing problems? I don't know. Maybe it's all false. Everything that I'm watching online. Maybe you've isolated England and you've turned the internet, because I added loads of people online that were all posting sort of negativity things against Islam, and I've taken them all off, assuming that I would start, because I'm not seeing any posts from any of the singers that I'm posting. A few years ago, all the posts that used to be on my Instagram used to be from the singers, and because I had added them, I was assuming that was. But yeah, now that I've taken them all off, all the things on Instagram are actually just all. Now that I've taken off the ones that were mostly about Islamic hatred in England, I'm getting more posts from America, but none of these posts are people that I'm following. So I don't know what the algorithm is for the Instagram, um, but it's definitely having a very very negative effect on my mind. And do they know? I mean, is that the point? You're trying to mess with my head, or the people's head in England, and I don't know. Because it's weird how that client that I saw yesterday just had no clue that anything, that England's falling apart, no clue that there's a sort of an invasion, no clue. This is just how it always is. It's not. This is not how it always was. Birmingham used to be about 20% white, and now it just feels like 7% white or something. Like, there are white people, but the white people I'm seeing are people who remind me of my mum, like just low class standard people living their first or second lives, and just have no ability to recognize. My anger isn't against a race. It's against the huge number of people who are living their first, second, and third lives. When you have loads and loads of people living their first, second, and third lives, society does not run properly. Why? Because the tax money needs to go towards lots of facilities, but the people living their first, second, and third lives, they're going to need more help than anyone else. They're going to need mental health stability. They're probably going to have their kids taken away from them because they can't look after them, or they don't know how to raise up kids properly. See, my sister is a problem. The amount of money that's got spent on that one kid that got put into social services. If you start inviting huge amounts of people living in their first, second, or third lives, these people are going to suck up the money that needs to be spent on resources. All the money that are being spent on, that could have been spent on useful things. People are saying, oh, but if we get rid of immigration, if the people are saying if we get rid of immigration, then what about all the doctors and nurses that have come from other countries that are useful? The problem isn't with the doctors. I mean, technically, if you're adding lots and lots of immigrants into the country, the doctors and nurses need to go towards the immigrants, because okay, yes, we're taking in some good people from other countries, but we're also taking in a whole load of bad people, and the bad ones are going to be needing to be looked after by all these immigrants. So what if there's a hospital that's got two white people and seven nurses from foreign countries? I mean, if the Birmingham is majority other country, from people from other countries, then those seven nurses need to be there, because there's a much bigger population. So can you not understand? Like, if we're taking in some good people but also taking in millions of bad people, the good people from these other countries need to help the bad people from the other countries, and so what if they all go? Get rid of the bad, and send the thing is, though, if the other countries, the third world countries, didn't have so many villains in them, so many criminals, so many people that just want to steal off others, then these countries would be safe, and maybe they could go back. So maybe that's the point. You've flooded Europe with people from other countries, and now you're just going to kill all the people that are still remaining in the other countries, and then once they've all gone, all the dangerous ones have gone, then maybe you can start these people can go back to their home country. I like Europe, where you go to France and it's full of French people, the French people that are actually French, not French people that are actually from Africa and calling themselves French people because they've been here 10 years. I mean, I would say if you've lived in a country for 10 years, then that should be considered as you being French. But the problem is now that there's like a huge number of people that are from Africa and now living in France. So what if they've been living in France? I want France to look like how it looked 20 years ago. I want England to look how it looked 20 years ago. There needs to be white areas and there needs to be black areas in Earth. I mean, I don't want Africa to be a dangerous place. If Africa wasn't a dangerous place, then maybe they can make their economy good. And I think the reality is the only way you can make your economy good is if you kill all the bad ones and only allow the good ones to live. And that is the reality of it. If you kill the bad ones, then the bad ones won't be causing problems for the good ones. People aren't going to want to invest in shops and businesses and build nice hotels and build, people aren't going to want to invest in anything if they think that some tenants are going to come in there and just destroy the house. But a few years ago, I was thinking it would be nice that the people that were in there moved in because it was just after COVID and the house had been empty for a year, and I was just getting anyone in there, and they were supposed to be there for 3 months, and once I'd bought a quarter of a property, I would have wanted to like renovate it and then make the house look nice, but the ladies in there is fine, but if someone else was to come in there, they could be worse. They could literally just trash the place. I could go back and find that there's, someone's shredded the furniture, or that they've been using it for trafficking or drugs. There was someone when I was looking through people, I had 3 people visit the house, and I think it's actually 2. I literally think I only had 2 people visit the house, and the first one literally sort of hinted to me that he was going to use the house for a drug farm. He said he was going to do farming in the house. That's literal his words to me. And I was like, what? Oh, no, yeah, okay. Okay, get the fuck out of my house. He literally told me that he was going to use the house for farming. And that was when I said no. And then these other people came in and I was like, yeah, they're not going to use it. They've got kids. But yeah, they've been in there for... They're not... I'm not saying anything bad about them. I haven't had complaints. I was worried about the garden, but they seem to manage to make it look fine after a long time. But... yeah, you can't invest in anything if you're worried about the people that are going to move in, and that is the problem that these third world countries are having. And you can hate the idea of genocide, but if genocide is the best way of sieving out the good ones from the bad ones, the matrix, if you see the world as being a type of matrix, which is how I've been seeing it for a very long time, you will understand that if you do kill millions of people that could be bad, could be good, you don't know, the matrix will sort through the souls and will bring the better ones back. But if you want to go to Europe, it's actually better to die and make your wish to the matrix and say, please send me to Europe, and maybe you'll be reborn in Europe. But Europe is no longer nice. And it's like, on one hand, you can hate genocide and you can hate the idea of it, but death is not the worst thing. Suffering is, torture is, and I guess I hate genocide, or the mass slaughtering, but that's the only way to solve it. And you have to trust that the matrix is going to sort through the souls, bring the good ones back, send the bad ones back to being animals. You don't know what a person's life is like. You don't know what they've done. You don't know what crimes they're responsible for. The Matrix does. But yeah, it is important though to make sure that the good ones are breeding, because the good ones the good souls will come back in good families. So if the bad families stop breeding and stop having kids, and only the good families have kids, then the Matrix will be able to can fix itself. Because I think the Matrix is getting confused. Too many people, corrupt people, are having kids. They're thinking, I want free money from the government. How do I do that? Oh, they don't want. I'm begging on the street right now, but if I was begging with a kid, well, someone would come by and give me a hotel. Someone would come by and give me a house. So you're encouraging the stupid ones who don't care about their kids to have kids so that they can use their kids as a way of getting free money out of the government. Now, if you start funding that and giving people this kind of money, then more and more corrupt people are going to have kids, and the Matrix is going to get more and more confused because it's going to get more and more confused over what a human is. I feel like there are two types of humans right now. You've got the Neanderthal type of humans, and you've got the Homo sapien type of humans. And if the Neanderthal people are having lots and lots of kids because they're trying to get free money from the government, then more and more corrupt people are going to be born into society, because the Matrix is going to look at these people and think, well, this is what they're like, what kind of souls are like them, and then it's going to start going into the animal pool and thinking, you know what, that these animals are very similar to these humans, so we're going to bring more and more animals back. We're going to turn more and more animals into humans, and yeah, it's just causing more and more problems. And I think I need to go. It's going to be raining all day today, but I'm wondering if I should just force myself to go to Warwick Castle, because I need to get off my phone. Watching this phone is having a very traumatic effect on my health.